Hey everybody, this is Damian from Dimension21, and in this video I'm going to be showing a flip through of the Create This Book, which is from Moriah Elizabeth here on YouTube. She's an artist, and she made these prompt books that are similar to Wreck This Journal, but instead of destroying, this is supposed to be to encourage creativity in different forms. So you can draw, you can write, you can scrapbook, journal, all that stuff. So I'm going to be trying my best to do a voiceover for the pages, even though I'm not going to be spending a lot of time on them. I'm not a fan of the watercolor I did in the background. I don't know if it's because I didn't work fast enough, and then I tried to mix some colors that just did not go together. But I do like the right-hand side where I was using ink, and I was able to blot it and ended up coming out really pretty. The other side is terrible. And then I had to completely do this page over and glue on top because like the ink had gone through the page and it was a bad look, and then me trying to draw the diamonds on top looked terrible. Fancy name. The rule was to add a diamond to the page, even though I should have dated each page. Or signed my name like regular. Choose one color. And I went with violet, even though my favorite color is actually indigo. The drawing on the right is actually supposed to be myself. Things you like versus things you dislike. You could pause to read it if you can read cursive. Sorry, sometimes in this book I'm going to be going back and forth between print and cursive, so I apologize about that. The music-inspired page, I was listening to a Tribe Called Quest, so I tried to keep everything like loose and free because it's, old school hip-hop, but I don't like how scribbly it looks. But I need to give myself some grace. Page of garbage, so I put some tea packaging, some gum wrappers, pencil shavings. I should have probably put more pencil shavings, but a pet, and I ended up making this dark colored cat with rainbow splotches on top, even though it reminds me of those nasty cosmic brownies. Ugh. Page of polka dots. This is Tamika from my Clowntober challenge that I did in 2024. I'm going to say the year for future reference just in case you're watching this beyond this time. The array of media, we have Crayola crayons, Crazy Art color pencils, Crazy Art crayons, Arteza alcohol-based marker, Arteza colored pencils, Crayola silly scent markers, and Crayola silly scent colored pencils, I think. Folded it. I don't like the way I decorated it, but yeah. I didn't end up unraveling the fold, which made it hard to do the letter page because I had to cram everything all together. The meal, this is like a modified version of something that I normally get from Honey Girl, which is a salad and stir-fry place. Simplistic drawings. I feel like I'm not that good at drawing stick figures. I don't draw them that often because I do full drawings of people. Create a family. I chose a font family, so I went with Chalet. At least these are the ones I could find. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for this. A border, so I ended up doing a whole bunch of gemstones, and that's why I didn't do the diamond over top of the numbers because I figured I would just do it with this. Unusual combination, we have some crayon glasses, which is something that I think people could definitely see me wearing in real life. I decided to refuse the record of your week page. I tried to do it, but it just looks so depressing. Quick sketches, these are so messy. Oh my god, I should have done it in pen. I mean, ballpoint pen or something, so that way it wouldn't have been so smudgy everywhere. I based my growth chart on hairstyles that I've had over the years. I forgot to mention there's some pages that I have a speed drawing of with me doing more voiceover on top. This is one of them, and then the polka dot page I think is another. I have a video coming for that. Collection. This is Tony Touch from my boy band Cyrano. I don't like the way that I did the rainbow in the back with the books. I should have just chose a few colors and stuck with that. A refusal, that's what I ended up drawing, somebody refusing. I don't have the pose reference that I used anymore, so I can't reference that. Some other characters of mine, Baby Boy from my boy band Cyrano, and then Royalty from a group that needs a new name, doing the Bump song from the Commodores. The bumpy texture was provided by some colored pencils that were underneath the page as I laid the colors down and wrote on top. The page of stripes has ATN and Lala from my Clowntober challenge, even though they're mimes. Mimes are a type of clown, so that's why I decided to include that. So I put the two of them there. Signature, I should have just that's the one that I like the most. That's how I normally write. Me trying to stylize my cursive just doesn't work. The wax. This is based on a screenshot from Lil Mama's "I'm What It Is" Strike a Pose video, but it's not supposed to be her. So inside of the pocket, and I drew a little jean jacket pocket. We have an old sketch of my boy Van Sierra when I was first coming up with their concepts. I think this is from 2020. I copied off of a pose reference from Pinterest, but I really don't like it, and that's why I never finalized it. It's not the best composition that I've seen to use as a reference, so I'm just gonna skip that. Ink blot. I'm not really gonna spend that much time on this. I'm just gonna let it go. I don't really like these Rorschach tests. Like they be looking so creepy. Directions. I ended up going with distractions. That's the excuse I tried to come up with for covering some of the pages and having to like start all over again. This is supposed to be a character from a comic that I tried to make called The Blackout, which is based on some dreams I had. Distract stands for demolish individual spreads that ruin all the content in this book. And I tried to do it like Codename Kids Next Door, which wasn't really my show, it was my sister's show. The Secret, and that's supposed to be me peeking from underneath the white page. I don't really like the way I drew my nails, but that's how they looked at the time. But, yeah. I don't like the obscure shape page. I could have executed this so much differently. Boredom, I just wrote okay. It ended up being not that boring because some stains from the other page got through. The doodle page with the doodle board from Blues Room, if anybody remembers that. I'm not good at doodling. Like I don't know how to just like randomly draw like random stuff because it ends up looking weird. My fantasy home is in the Mariana Trenches where nobody can actually live. So they're inside some kind of a steel dome. The animal rendering looked terrible. Page of quotes. You might have to pause to read some of those. Fabric page. These are actually two characters from my DMX challenge that nobody seemed to look at on YouTube for some reason. At least as of right now. The alien. These are revisions of super duper old characters that I've had. I guess I could put the original versions of them, but it's I hate looking at my old art sometimes. The challenge. So basically, I had all of these makeup supplies in my mouth as I was doing everything, and then of course I did a kiss mark for the mouth of the girl. The fads and stupid trends were supposed to be between the time of it looks like April 17th and June 2nd of 2025. You could tell that I can't stand like honestly anything. These stupid influencers. And, I, I'm not even gonna go there. Embarrassment. This is more like tragic humiliation that actually happened to me, especially in middle school. But taking me a second to get the page turned. Oh, the page of checkers. This is one of my favorites. If only I could have recorded this, but I was having a little bit of issues, so I wasn't able to do it. Plus, it took like a few days to get it done. The girl in the drawing is supposed to be Speedster from the LOLMG line. Shared drawing. I drew some things, and then my sister Dominique drew some things in this picture. Plans for a building. This was kind of just me writing about dreams I had, where it seemed like some of the liminal space pictures and all that other stuff, and how it could be like combined into one building. Color combinations. Not really much to say about that. I don't like this spread. The progression thing, I could tell what I started with, and it's the peace sign on the girl's face, and I feel like this isn't how this was supposed to go. Let's just skip over that. Ugh. This is one of my favorite spreads. Create nostalgia. There's a page that says create your favorite, but I feel like nothing can top this page with the create nostalgia, and this is dedicated to VH1 Soul, which doesn't exist anymore, and I miss it so much. Early 2000s neo soul, that was it. I'm telling you. Create an advertisement. This was based on a project from my freshman year of high school where we had to make our own energy drink, and I had solar eclipse. I have a video about that one too, even though some of the footage got cut. Create nonsensical creatures. The dinosaur at the bottom named Lanisha was based on a dream I had. Create your favorite. I tried my best, but the composition got knocked off because of the prompt being in the way, but this is my boy band Cyrano. So we have Tony Touch, Chrome, The Prince, CJ, and Baby Boy. They're all supposed to have braided hair in this particular picture, but least favorite, I'm just going to skip that one. I don't like the way this one turned out. The page of emotion, I had started off with something in the first place, but I ended up not liking the way I colored it, so I had to blur out everything except for this drawing of Jamie Foxx. Right here, I have the screenshot from whatever episode I got it from. So there's some pages in here that are kind of in the wrong spot because of some issues I had with ink. Oh, my cat Mercury doesn't scratch that page for some reason. Not region. What? Set of twins. We have some twin characters of mine. The Myers twins. We got Daquan and Wade. I actually have a way better drawing of them than I did in another book. The personalities are still works in progress. Straight lines. Some of these were cut out with paper. Weather-based decor. Okay, so on June 24th, 2025, it was the hottest day of the year, 100 degrees in the shade at night. I was melting. I was melting. Drawing variation. Normal right hand, eyes closed, pencil in mouth, jumping, spinning fast. Left hand upside down, turning the book, and with my foot. So I did the sketching using those methods, and then I line and colored it normally. And then because I used the high five logo, I drew the cast of high five on the other side. I have a speed drawing about that one too. Create a person. This is me drawing somebody from a dream of mine. Her name is Amai. You can pause to read her info. Smudges. I was gonna put a drawing over top of this, like I was gonna glue one in, but I decided to just keep it how it was. The pages that are meant to be messy are messy. Interview. This is more just like an interview with myself, like a job interview, showing how like ridiculous job interviews are. An outfit. This is a modified version of like some pieces that I had that I thought went good together. I never actually tried them together, but they're not. They don't look exactly like what I have. And then the switch, because both of these spreads got messed up from some ink going all over the place. I had to do one on one side and one on the other instead of it being like full spreads for both. The switch, so like I basically had two people trying to clean up the ink, and then I ended up drawing somebody in the background, shocked. The fan page I dedicated to the Backyardigans, especially because Rest in Heaven and Janice Burgess. I have a speed drawing video about this one too. This is not the most original symbol I could have came up with. It's supposed to be a fusion of the letter D, treble, and a bass clef. Great without thinking. I did kind of use references on this one, but I knew like I kind of just wanted to draw something from a dream, even though like I was supposed to do it without thinking. I don't know. I broke the rules on that one. Paid by number. This is boring. I should have actually tried something cuter, but I was just trying to get this book done. Collage. The one with the letter O stuff is actually from high school. The flaw page, there's actually a handful of flaws. So I'm supposed to be a barber slash stylist at a fake salon called Cut Like Diamonds. And I'm cutting the hair of Max, who was one of the clowns for my Clowntober 2024 challenge I did. An adventure. I'll just walk to the park that's near my house, and then I ended up just sitting down and sketching. And then when I came home, I did watercolor over top. Page of notes. I don't really know what I was writing about. Profession. Unprofessional hater. Me in a nutshell. Yeah, I may not show it a lot, but a task with right hand versus left hand. And I tried to do it based on Gullah Gullah Island, but I should have actually tried to do the font of the show's logo. The playlist is another one I think I have a speed drawing of. So Ladies Mix is supposed to be an album that my mom made for me when I think I was 5. So that's supposed to be my 5-year-old self in the drawing. And then on the other side, underneath the song list, the 2 featured artists, we got Alicia Keys, and I drew her from her Fallen video, and Mary J. Blige in one of her looks from Stay Down. A contradiction, we have I tried to copy the hot ice thing she wrote down. There's also me on the other side of the page doing whatever kind of expression that is. And then some like kind of thug clowns, like some hood clowns from the Clowntober challenge from 2024. I thought that was a contradiction at least. Create a contour drawing. I don't like most of these. I like the guy that's on the very bottom left of the right page. Patterns, I'm not feeling the drippy one, but everything else I kind of like. I don't know if the music sheet really counts as a pattern per se, but dialogue, we have 2 characters roasted each other. I don't want to read this one. I'm just going to let you read it because me trying to do it in the voices was a mess. I don't like this page. I failed. I was trying to copy something from a dream of mine, but it didn't come out very good. And I think the page was meant to be like about a nature setting, not so much as well. It's open to your interpretation, I'm sure. An arrangement of doodles. It was just random stuff. Me practicing stuff for my Clowntober challenge. Bruh, okay. And some other stuff, yeah. Color dispute. This reminds me of back in the day when a lot of the daycares that was around where I live had versions of Sesame Street characters and like other show characters too. I think Dora was one of them, but the colors would be wrong, I guess, to avoid like copyright, but they just be looking gross sometimes. Dedication. I dedicated this page to Aaliyah, the singer. So rest in heaven to her. I drew it from the Artie That's Somebody video. The printed picture of her got messed up though. The value page, I felt like this was a school assignment because I do not like shading and rendering. I'll put the reference picture. Physical collection of specific objects. I was supposed to do only wrappers of gum, not the packaging. Page for your favorite character. One of my favorite characters, at least, was Blue from Blue's Clues, even though she's not like my top. I should have really thought about it before I went in, but I was trying to think who is somebody that I never attempted to draw before. And then other contenders up here, we got Elmo, Little Bill, and Linda Johari from Little Bill. Sketch and Captain Bob from Crashbox, and I drew all the Crashbox characters before on my Instagram. Lightning McQueen from Cars, Fat Albert from Fat Albert, and then the Backyardigans who are already drawn on the other page. I probably could have just tried to do my hand at Little Bill, but like, I don't know, people would have tried to turn away just because they see him and the correlations. But a page from the past, these are some old drawings from high school, I guess. Unlikely art, I tried to use numbers, one in a pointillism style on the right page, and then on the left, I tried to use the numbers to fill in the space. Create chaos, this is a whole bunch of elements that were from different dreams of mine. This is a mess. Like, this is so jumbled. It's supposed to be, but like, cuts through layers. I didn't execute this very well. The combo was supposed to be, I ran everything through a randomizer and then I ended up getting a big top chandelier, but it looks more like a baby's mobile than anything. The wall with the graffiti, I'm not really feeling it. Time decoration, and it's me complaining like, what do you mean I only have 10 minutes? I got to do all this and I got to do this and this and this and that. Going on for 5 hours basically. Unusual superpower, we have Cut Like Diamonds, which was like from the other page. Cut Like Diamonds has the evil superpower to give anybody a bad haircut. Textures, this is Chris from my group Joker, which is a clown themed rap group. Now, I only ended up drawing Chris with the clown makeup because I was trying to show the textures within that too, not just himself. But there was, oh my god, the ugliness page. I should have just stuck with what I did on the right side, but for some reason I drew Huggy Wuggy from Poppy Playtime. He's not even my most hated character. Page for a pet. We have my cat Mercury, then we got Pearly May and Niles on the other side. For the applied suggestion, my mom ended up suggesting fruit for the page spread, so I ended up drawing some various fruits with different colors. Something out of nothing. I don't know how people do this challenge so good where they're able to scribble something random and then make something out of it. I don't like the way I did mine. The receipt. Now, technically, I was buying stuff that week, maybe, but I just decided to go with the guy who was crying about him not having money. The nature page. This is me going through a rainforest or something with some macaws in the back. I don't like this drawing. It's supposed to be about drawing something different. We're just going to skip the truck. I could do way better than that. The food page, we got all three of my guys from Joker on the other side. And the top left of the left page is supposed to be the reference to the black badger with the chicken nugget. Yeah, yeah. The colorless page, I will put the picture reference for the poses I used. And then this one. This is supposed to be two gamers on YouTube. Poise, who is on the page right side up, and then upside down on the other side is supposed to be Corey Kenshin. I drew him a little bit weird. And this is a mess because I used cutouts of Corey saying, "Don't flip this page, bro." And Poise saying, "Nah, for real, turn back now." And then as soon as we flip it over, look at this. We got all these random cutouts for some random videos and compilations I found. I really wanted to post this on Instagram, but for one, I didn't want to get in trouble. And then another thing, I don't want people thinking I'm clout chasing. The Upside Down page, I drew characters from the Upside Down show, which was an old show on Noggin, and eventually Nick Jr. when they got rid of Noggin for some reason. This was one of the funniest kids shows to ever exist, but it only had 13 episodes, which sucks. It should have lasted longer. Just a little bit longer, at least. The blind artwork, I'm not a fan of this page. We're just going to move on. The scrapbook page consists of the skyscrapers from an old how to draw book, I think, some wellness tips, some random stickers, and something from a comic. The contrast, I went for opposite colors, which were orange and blue, and I also drew the old Nick Jr. logo. The assessment was just me rambling about how hard it is to get work nowadays, so that's really not important. Well, and then the scenery page was me writing about me visiting a rainforest or jungle, which I drew on the nature prompt. And finally, for the ending, I was writing about what I would do differently when completing the other two Create This books, and I lined up with some stickers. This is completed October 17th, 2025, 4 days before I turned 24, at like 2:39 in the morning. I would like to thank you for tuning into this video. Have a good rest of your day.